Thank you, everyone, for subscribing to Infinitely Productions. If you have not done so, please click the bell and subscribe, and we hope you enjoy our content.
When former mob boss John Stanfa appeared before New Jersey investigators in the early 90s, Ron Previte, seen on the left, was one of his crime family members. What Stanfa didn't know was that the 280-pound Previte was an FBI informant, and now he is testifying against Joey Merlino and 6 co-defendants. Previte talked about his life of criminal activity dating back to his days in the 1970s as a crooked Philadelphia cop.
I took money from motors. I took money from if a business was burglarized and we got there and there was a TV left, we took it.
Previte's legitimate jobs included a stint with the New Jersey Racing Commission, taking urine samples from horses to make sure they weren't drugged. But it didn't take long for his evil ways to surface.
Did you do it in a legitimate, honest fashion?
For a couple of weeks.
And then what did you do?
I hooked up with some other people there that were involved in this scheme to switch samples.
Previte, who had a large bookmaking operation in Hamilton, New Jersey, continued to serve as an FBI informant and later witness. He wore a body wire from 1997 to 99, and many of his taped conversations, including ones plotting drug transactions, will be played during this trial. The jury also heard that Previte has been paid well by the government for his information, $8,600 a month for several years. That brought sighs of disbelief from some in the courtroom.
The jury is going to have to decide if there's anything wrong with paying a criminal $103,000 a year, which is likely to be tax-free if he chooses not to file any tax returns.
Talk with Dave Schratweiser every Wednesday morning.
There is George if it's in the Inquirer's true Anastasia. So there goes George if it's in the...
The defense tried to raise serious doubts concerning Merlino and other defendants' involvement in 2 murders, one of them the 1998 hit on Anthony Tura. Tura was on trial at the time for dealing drugs and plotting to kill Merlino and his family by blowing up his house. The threat was captured on an FBI tape played during the previous trial and again today.
When he was in the house 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, the cops don't want to leave him there, and they're not going to watch the house. They're going to leave him. That's when you just dump them grenades right in there with a couple of explosives and blow that. You can't hit it, see it come.
Merlino's attorney, Edwin Jacobs, attempted to show the jury that Merlino did not retaliate and kill Tura, nor were Merlino or any of his co-defendants involved in the 1995 murder of Billy Veazey. Jacobs pointed out that both Tura and Veazey were dealing drugs and may have had lots of enemies.
There were multiple cooperating witnesses blaming various people for a given killing, and somebody selected which one to believe and which one to present in this prosecution. I mean, they can't all be telling the truth.
The next major government witness to take the stand will be Ron Previte. Previte is a former cop who was initiated into the mob by then-boss John Stanfa and then became an FBI informant, wearing a body wire for 2 years. He will testify against Merlino and the others on the charges related to drug dealing, stolen property, gambling, and extortion. Accompanied by New Jersey State Police and his attorney, reputed organized crime boss John Stanfa came to Trenton, subpoenaed to go before a state grand jury. Also with Stanfa and ordered to appear were Stanfa associates Vincent Filippelli, Ronald Previte, and Sergio Battaglia. The grand jury is looking into mob activity in South Jersey. In an unusual move, state officials held a news conference just before Stanfa arrived.
State troopers, as we speak, are already conducting round-the-clock surveillance and monitoring in both marked and unmarked vehicles every move of the organized crime figures that are under investigation.
In fact, state police accompanied Stanfa from his Medford home to Trenton today. The intense surveillance has his attorney, Salvatore Avena, questioning the state's common sense and added,
wherever Mr. Stanfa's wife, 2 daughters and sons travel, they are constantly being followed by state police cars. That, to me, strikes of a partial custodial existence.
It was expected that Stanfa might invoke his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, and in turn the state would offer immunity, not from prosecution, but from having his grand jury statements used against him. Sources say the offer was made, but that Stanfa wasn't questioned, that he was just told to come back next Thursday. Stanfa left the Justice Complex after 5 hours, still with nothing to say. Stanfa, any comment at all?
Nothing.
Do you feel that you're being harassed, Mr. Stanfa? Clearly the state is out to get John Stanfa and his associates. In fact, today the Attorney General said organized crime members in New Jersey should not expect to retire to Florida. The only retirement home they'll see is in state or federal prison. I'm Kathy Gandolfo, Channel 6 Action News, Trenton, New Jersey.
Stanfa has no comment to make. I did make a remark earlier, though.
Okay, so the police escort you to court. There's nothing to say about that.
Stanfa, you gonna take the fifth? Walk past it.
Guy in the brown shirt? Guy in the brown shirt?
Yep. Any comments, Mr. Stanfa, on what you said?
Nothing at all.
Tell us at all what happened.
No comment.
You were saying earlier this is
Stanfa, any
harassment?
comment at all?
Nothing.
Do you feel that you're being harassed?
What's up, Joe? You right?
Stanfa, you have to come back and tell us. Did you tell us that much?
You better learn that from the film.
Watch your back.
I'm on, Captain. You're coming up on a curb soon, Milt.
Have to report back here next week?
You might inquire of the Attorney General regarding that.
Are you saying you don't know if you have to come back next week?
Prosecutors say they nabbed Joey Merlino on a probation violation stemming from a 1990 armored car heist. As a condition of that probation, which isn't up until 1997, the 31-year-old was required to hold down a job and stay away from known criminals. But officials say Merlino was not working for a window and siding company as he led them to believe.
To association with convicted felons and also to giving false reports pertaining to employment.
Philadelphia's South Jersey mob from reputed organized crime boss John Stanfa. It's a bloody feud that has killed 4 and wounded 4 mobsters this year. Officials believe Merlino is responsible for an attempt on Stanfa's life that wounded his son. Police say that shooting was in retaliation for an August attack that killed Michael Cingolini and wounded Merlino.
It's obvious that they probably don't want him on the street. And I think that this is like scraping the bottom of the barrel for the type of charges to try and violate his probation by saying that instead of being on a lead, he was here, and by saying that one of the persons that he was in a social club with had a criminal record.
If the prosecutor's intent is to keep Merlino off the streets and in jail, as the defense has suggested, then he has succeeded. Judge Norma Shapiro has ordered that Merlino will remain in custody until a full hearing can be held on the matter next Tuesday. I'm Karen Friedman, Channel 6 Action News, Center City.
Sir, is it a joke or? Sir, tell me what to say. Let's talk.
ahead.
Junior picture.
You want to fall through it? Yeah. I got the is that everything? Should be live. All right, ready?
Watch your step, fellas.
Let's take this off.
I got it. Pull it back.
What's up, what's going on? All
right, watch your back. Bring them back.
Hey, how are the sandwiches at this nice place? Is that all right?
Well, watch yourself.
The shotgun leg. Mr. Stanfa, you have anything to say about the charges?
Joke.
A joke? I can't really understand, sir. Is it a joke or... Sir, you have anything to say about these charges? How about you, sir? Can you make any statements about these charges?
Remember,
Yes, I can state for the record that Mr. Stanfa was willing to turn himself in voluntarily. There was no need to go to his house and roust him out of bed. I faxed a letter to that extent to the prosecutor yesterday and got no response. So clearly what they've done here today is just put on a show.
How did Mr. Stanfa... I was there and he seemed very angry. Did he talk to you about that today? What did he say about that?
No, he didn't say anything about that.
So you tried to turn it. He wanted to turn himself in. He knew it was coming and wanted to turn himself in.
Sure, he knew it was coming. It's been in the paper for 4 months. He didn't flee. He didn't go anywhere. He would have voluntarily surrendered himself. He's not a risk of flight at all.
So what do you think their motives were today, then?
To put on a show.
What's he charged with? We don't have the charges yet.
Well, I'm not going to comment on the charges right now until I've been able to go over them more fully with Mr. Stanfa.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel and check out more of our content. Feel free to give your feedback and suggestions on what we should do next in the comments. This is Infinite Lee Productions. We love ya.